But the question was asked, aliens or angels or UAPs or ET or UFOs, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Now, look, some researchers are saying that the Vatican's archives hold the UFO secrets. A group of scientists and researchers are seeking access to the Vatican apostolic archives to uncover information about UFOs and the paranormal, believing there may be traces amid the 50 miles of shells holding everything from handwritten papal notes to presidential missives. The decades-long effort has gained momentum back in 2023 following former U.S. intelligence officer David Garouche, whose congressional testimony alleging the Vatican's involvement in an international cover-up of alien secrets. Garouche claims that Pope Pius XII back-channeled information to the United States about a crashed UFO recovered by fascist dictator Mussolini. I don't know where Garouche got this information, said Marco Grilli, secretary to the prefect of the archives. He told Catholic News this back in June 11th. But Grilli said that the archives had received emails inquiring about the veracity of Garouche's claims, but linked them to requests to read the personal letters of Pontius Pilate, or maybe even Virgin Mary. So they're making fun of the guy. And one can laugh at that, he said. But the truth is, he wants to tell you that information from Pope Pius XII. However, findings like these reported in the Diana Walsh 2019 book, American Cosmic, suggest that the UFO believers that the archives hold more than meets the eye. A religious studies professor at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington, she said the archives are full of reports about paranormal events, such as nuns witnessing orbs entering their cells, flying houses, and other area phenomena. She argues that these events might be better understood as UFO-type occurrences rather than miracles as the Catholics traditionally understand them to be. The historical record is filled with these kinds of events. She told CNS back on May the 30th, she said the people at the Vatican, they don't even know where to look. It is the Vatican's, it's in their basement. You have to understand, there's 50 miles of archives under the Vatican. It's an incredible amount of information and documentation from all over the world. The Vatican's archives are in a mad rush to try to digitize what they have. They have to prioritize what they think is the most important, she explained, and they aren't really prioritizing orbs that were bothering the nuns in the 1800s. The interest in the Vatican's holdings extends beyond the realm of scholars of religion. Scientists like Gary Nolan, a professor of medicine at the Stanford University, views the Vatican archives as a potential treasure trove for understanding UFOs. So, there's no question about this. And I've been to Israel 3 times. I've been to this one rabbi's house in Israel. His name is Rabbi Harry Moskov. And he is an incredible guy. He was working right now with the antiquities of Israel and the antiquities of the Vatican. And he's become now the liaison between Israel and the Vatican, because there are some relics dating back to the Second Temple and First Temple periods that are believed to be in the archives there at the Vatican. He has found manifest and documents that have confirmed these things, some of these very, very sacred items from the Second Temple. And he's saying, look, we don't know how you guys got them. We're not accusing the Vatican of stealing anything. We don't know how you got a hold of these temple vessels. Maybe it was the Knights Templars took it, or maybe somebody, or somebody else. But we know you got some, or we suspect you do, or we have documents that says you do. All we're trying to say is that we're not trying to take them away. We're just wanting you to acknowledge you have them. And would you be willing to show them to the world, put them on display so that the world can see that these are true artifacts from the days of Jesus Christ, or even some from the days of King Solomon. So he has wrote a book on that. I'm going to interview him here soon. It's fascinating. I've been to his house 3 times. I've interviewed him for television. It's an incredible book he wrote. He even had me and Heidi in the book. But he's interested. I mean, he's personal friends with Mike Huckabee and with several other unbelievable scholars. But the Vatican's archives is interesting. The Vatican's probably the oldest library system of the paranormal or supernatural knowledge in the world. According to Nolan, the archive has an aurora of both mysticism and a feeling of deep truth that if you just know how to read it, you could pull that information out. A lot of it's written in Latin and in other languages. Nolan believes that if an advanced species is showing up on Earth, it means, however, finding those things, what does it mean? He says it might be possible for humans to survive threats like climate change or energy crisis or war. The very fact that we think we see something, to me, he says, is hope. Nolan said that UFO sightings. He says something has made it past the cliff, past the decision point, that we feel we are on the edge of it right now. Now, Nolan co-founded the Saul Foundation in 2023 to spearhead the scientific research into UFOs, and now called UAPs, or unidentified anomalous phenomenon, and to initiate dialogue with religious institutions like the Vatican, about the spiritual implications of discovering alien life. The foundation is confident that at least some UFOs are genuine vehicles of non-human origin. Consequently, one of its primary objects has been to initiate an interfaith dialogue to assess the potential impact on world